Thank you for joining me tonight. My name is Mike Tellerino. I'm your host for tonight's show. Tonight I've got two very special guests with me. I've got Carrie
Reznicek. Carrie Reznicek.
And Megan.
Wendtland.
They're from...
You got our first names.
That's about all I'm going to do.
It's okay.
They're with AWI, American Warrior Initiative, and they're also part of Fairway Mortgage. Mm-hmm. We're here tonight to talk about service dogs and how AWI sponsors service dogs for veterans, especially what you're doing for K9s For Veterans. Mm-hmm. It's such an amazing gift what you're doing for our veterans. Why don't you tell us a little bit about AWI and how you started doing this funding for service dogs? Because it's really, I mean, it's an extraordinary program what you're doing to help our veterans.
So, you want me to go?
Go ahead. You can start. I'll chime in.
So, AWI is the non-for-profit division for Fairway Home Mortgage. So, Fairway Home Mortgage is 26 years old, and 9 years ago, one of our members of Fairway came to our CEO, Steve Jacobson, and said, there's a big need. We're not doing enough for veterans in our country, and we need to do more. And Steve said, what does that look like? And she outlined it, and AWI was born. So it's called the American Warrior Initiative, and it is grounded and founded in the theory that we need to do more for our veterans. And part of that has been sponsoring service dogs. Part of that has been financial and other just grants and assistance for education, right. Homes, cars, whatever a veteran or the family needs, as well as a big piece of it is educating the real estate market and the real estate market, meaning realtors, as well as loan officers on how to better serve our veterans relative to home ownership.
And I think it's worth pointing out, too, that it's employee funded for the most part. Right. Of course, we do fundraisers and things like that, but almost all of the donations are employee funded, and it's 100% underwritten by Fairway Home Mortgage. Right. So we cover all of the administrative costs. So 100% of all the donations go towards veterans.
$1, yep. Every part of the dollar goes towards the veterans.
I was doing a little research when we first partnered up together. You're
5 or 6 years ago it's been now, right?
You're president. Mm-hmm.
Luis.
Yeah.
Of AWI or
Steve? Is the
Fairway.
CEO.
Fairway is Steve Jacobson.
Yeah.
Yes, the founder.
What an amazing man he is. Mm-hmm. He really is. He's really all into veterans and helping out.
I know that Megan
heart. It's hard to put into words, but
there's no one that I've ever known that leads by example and just has such a servant heart and soul. And he's built the organization around that, and then obviously AWI is stem off of Fairway overall.
And he'll tell you who can say no to Louise. Louise is the CEO who started it, and
of
you can't say
AWI.
no to Louise.
I could talk to her all day.
I know. Because Boo Fontana, we call her. Weezy and Boo Fontana. Yeah. She doesn't like Boo Fontana.
She is so funny.
So she was out of Louisiana, and her part of her business was around a military base down there, and that's where she really understood that we were not doing enough to help our veterans. Right. When they came back, they wanted to buy homes. We just didn't know we weren't doing enough.
The education, all of it.
Around how can we better not just help them get homes, because we are a top national VA lender along with other mortgage products, but just in how do we serve them better? What can we do? Her mantra is find a need, fill the need. Mm-hmm. And also her famous saying is nobody can do everything, but everybody can do one thing. And here in Chicagoland, we had these AWI, American Warrior Initiative events around education, and then as part of that, obviously nationwide, is service dog sponsorship. And when I found you, 5 or 6 years ago, whatever it's been, I wanted to bring the veteran initiative and the service dogs local, right? Because we have other service dog companies that we use throughout the nation when we do these events. But it was important to me and to all of us here in the region to build the local, because we wanted to be serving the local community, the local veterans and their families in need. And what I loved about your platform, which everybody else now knows and is behind, is the fact that you use rescue dogs, right? So
Right.
you're saving rescue dogs' lives
saving
to turn
two
around,
lives.
right? To
Who
turn around and
saved
train
who?
that, right?
Yeah, who
to turn
saved who? I love
Right,
that.
Yeah.
and that
who saved
just
who?
that when I was just doing research and I found you, and that just spoke to me as that is very unique in the
know,
service dog industry.
These service dogs, they save lives. They really do. And a lot of people don't understand what these service dogs could do for a veteran.
Yeah.
But they do save lives. They really do.
Louise
And
always
it's-
says, she goes, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but she's like, I don't understand how electricity works. I just know when I walk in a room and flip on the light switch, it works.
Right.
So it's kind of the same with
Same
these
concept.
dogs.
it's
Same
the
concept,
same
yeah.
thing.
Megan is very close to this because her
Yeah.
husband served. So
Yeah.
she
Right.
is a veteran wife, and
I-
she was a
I live with
military
this
wife.
every
and
day.
She, yes. So, and
So.
he has many friends. In fact, we're doing a dedication later next year for
Right.
some of his in honor of some of his fallen brothers.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
Fairway has done, and correct me, over 500 dogs.
What- get-
438 is the
Yeah.
official number today.
In 6 years.
438 in six.
In 6
six,
years.
almost 7 years.
Yeah.
Yes.
438 dogs you paired with a veteran.
Yes.
In the last 6
Since-
years.
yep.
Yeah, 6, 7
And
years.
our goal is 450 by the end of the year, 11
Louise
more.
spoke it out loud
Yep,
today. And then
she-
what did she say about 2020, 2026?
2026, our goal is 50 dogs. So we
So,
to
yeah.
end 26 with an even 500.
Yeah.
But
So-
when we went to one of your ceremonies where we came and we talked and we surprised, and that's the best part.
The surprise,
We,
yeah.
we have veterans that are training, they think they're training the dog for someone else who can't come in for training because of a medical issue or whatever. Louise says,
Never like to surprise a
Veteran. She also never likes to. She said, "I never listen anyway." So,
and then we tell them
Yes.
that the service dog that they've been training, which
It's
they
for
thought
them.
was for another veteran, is actually for them.
Yeah.
And the last one we just did, he cried.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all
they all cry.
emotional.
Yeah, some a little more than others, but
Yeah,
you can see it.
yeah.
You
But
can see it.
you-
There's
I
not
mean,
a dry eye in the room.
Even the ones that aren't that emotional, that's just their makeup because of their PTSD.
Sure.
They don't
Yes.
know how to react. Like,
But you share that after the fact, they come to you
Oh
with
my God.
how thankful.
how thankful,
You know
and just
what?
that they're just
the impact.
yeah, the impact
the
that's
last
going to
one
make on
that we
them.
did, the one that I'm talking about that cried, he came up to me when I seen him. It was a day later. He says, "I never thought anybody would ever give me such a gift and do such an amazing
I know.
thing for me." He says, "You tell AWI they saved my life." If you seen him with his service dog today, believe me,
that's-
bar none.
It gives me I
It
get
gives me
goosebumps
chills,
and, like,
and that's the
tears in my
impact
eyes
when
just to
you
think about
hear
it.
those words. That dog saved my life. Like it forever changes you, and that's the motivation to keep going. Because if
right.
it just even just one person, it
I
makes
got to
it
tell you a
worth it.
short story,
All
and
the-
I've
all
said
the
it before.
fundraising, all the
I've told
everything.
this before. I got a call from a veteran's wife. She says, "I just want to thank K9." And I said, "Well, why?" She says, "I got my husband back." I said, "Well, what do you mean?"
Yeah.
She says, "My husband would get up in the morning, have a cup of coffee, sit in front of that damn TV."
And not speak to her, I'm sure.
For 8, 12, 14 hours a day. Didn't talk to me, didn't talk to our children, wouldn't talk to anybody.
Yeah.
Wouldn't even go
It's
to the
super-
mailbox.
More common than everybody realizes, I
Yeah,
think.
she said
Yeah.
now 3 months after having that service dog, he gets up in the morning, has the same cup of coffee, goes for a 2-mile walk. He's lost 10 pounds. He comes in the house now and doesn't shut up. Now he's asking to go to Costco.
Wow, that's a win. That's a win.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
what a better is that called me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last ceremony that we had recently when we did the 5 dogs as a surprise in a day.
Surprise.
I remember
Surprise us.
one of the veterans said in the interview that thankfully we had a great press there that day, right? Which we're so grateful and thankful for because it's just more exposure for your cause and our cause. But I remember the veteran saying how uncomfortable he was just being in that room with that many people, with people
Normally he wouldn't
with
put
people
people
behind
behind
him.
him.
Right.
Yeah, he said
Yeah.
normally I would not be able to stand here with
Yeah.
people behind me, but with my service dog here, which we
got-
just
they
told
have
him
their back.
is his
Got their
now,
six.
right? Not that
They
he's just
say.
yeah.
They have their
They're
back,
their
all the
back.
time.
And so
You know,
it's-
when I watch these veterans come in the program, they're a little apprehensive. Like, is this really going to work for me?
Is it right? Right.
Is it really going to do something for me? It's a dog. You know what I mean? I want to tell you, after 3 months of them training with that dog, you couldn't get that dog away from them.
Yeah.
And now,
Which becomes their best friend.
and now they're competing with one another in class. Oh, my dog could do that better than yours.
They're better than they.
And
My
now
dog's better than your dog.
They're more out and talking.
Yeah.
And
They're
just
socializing.
they're
It's
enjoying
something
life.
that we take for granted and that is totally normal. To them, that's something that's not normal because life is not normal when they come home.
A lot
It's
of
different.
them
It
couldn't
feels
go
different.
to Jewel
Right.
to walk around to go grocery shopping on their own.
Yeah.
Now they have that dog by their side. They go just about
I would
anywhere.
imagine part of their soul and their spirit starts to come back, right? I mean, I would think. It's
Yeah.
something
They
that starts to come
transform
alive
into
again
a
little
different
bit.
person. They really do.
Yeah.
They become talkative. And what's good about the program too is now they're working and training with other veterans that are going through the same thing.
They have
and
that
now
community.
they form a bond
Yeah.
with
Right.
these other veterans. And it's all because of your donations that giving these veterans back their life.
Yeah.
Believe me, I could sit here all day and tell you what your donations mean to these veterans, but I wish you could see the difference every day that you've made in their lives. Really, you've changed
We
their
trust
life.
that.
We absolutely, and all the credit goes to our employees and our amazing company because none of this can happen without them. The giving hearts of Fairway, it starts with CEO but goes all the way on down.
That's right.
Each and every person in this company, the culture that we have is second to none, and the giving nature of Fairway.
Right.
The loans are what we do, but not who we are,
That's
right?
right.
I mean, we
That's right.
use our lending and being in the lending industry and doing mortgages
That's
to
what we do.
fund,
Yeah.
right? We don't advertise, we don't buy billboards, we don't sponsor large
Right.
stadium, so we do initiatives like this to give back into our communities because that is where our heart and soul is.
You told me about a story about a gentleman that needed a roof. He was on his
Yeah.
porch,
Yeah.
and he got a chair
He was
too.
It's
World
a
War
video
II.
to watch.
Yeah.
It's on our
World War II
YouTube
veteran,
channel.
right?
Yes,
Yeah.
it was a World War II veteran who.
That is so amazing.
Yes, if you go to the American Warrior Initiative on YouTube, you can see the whole story. But a veteran needed. It's not just service dogs, right? If a
Right.
veteran, like you said in the beginning, it's find the need, fill the need,
Yeah.
and we have these things called outposts now around the country. So if we have a veteran with a local need, whether maybe it's a ramp because he is wheelchair bound now, or maybe it's a new roof, or it could be anything.
I mean, we did a large screen TV and a recliner
Yeah.
for a
Yes.
veteran who was basically hospice and
Yeah.
hadn't had a new TV
Yep.
for decades
And that lifted his
decades.
spirit
It
so
lifted- I
much.
mean, it was
There's
just-
a video about that too.
But the new roof was
Just incredible. And
yeah.
the community heard about it. And that's the thing. Once you share what you're doing and you put it out there and the community heard about it and people ended up volunteering their time for labor.
Yeah,
And then
and the
the
materials,
materials.
the roofing
And so
company,
it just the blessing just continued. So it's just about finding the need, filling the need. Service dogs are a huge part of it, but it's
Right.
also other things through these outposts throughout the country that Fairway employees lead.
We've given scholarships for
Yeah.
veterans to go back to school, to
Yeah.
start businesses, and it truly is whatever the need is. It's
Yeah.
going to
That's-
benefit them and their
That's
families.
that's a gift that keeps on giving.
It is. It is.
It really is.
Yeah.
K9, we do what we do. Yeah, we do, and we're proud of what we do to help our veterans.
should be.
But K9 could not exist if it wasn't for organizations, especially like yours, and to continue to change the veterans' lives.
About
the
is
wait
how
list,
long the wait
yeah.
list is for a
45.
service
Yeah.
dog.
45. Last
That's
time,
with your-
Last
I mean,
time I
that's-
looked.
yeah,
Yeah.
Last time
yeah.
I looked, 45.
The wait list is just so long because
And it breaks my heart. And one thing about K9, if you put your application in 6 months ago, a year ago, we don't base it on the date of your application.
Base
We
it
base
on
it on need.
Yeah.
We talk to the physicians. We get a letter from their treating physician. We want to know exactly what their needs are, how we're going to fill those
Yeah.
needs. And then they talk to our trainer, and our trainer goes out and finds the right service dog for them. So we base it on need, not date of the application. So, and when I talk to these veterans, they all have such a sad story. It's heartbreaking
Yeah.
to sit there and listen to them why they need a best friend, and a lot of them just need a companion.
that's just it. I think they don't want to feel alone. And when they come
Exactly.
home they feel alone. They're not with their unit
Without a
anymore.
doubt.
They're not with their
Yeah.
friend. Nobody gets it. Right? I think that's the hardest part. And just hearing what little bit my husband will talk about things, I hear more when he's around other veterans.
Right.
I hear new stories every time. And so I think the coolest thing is that dog becomes their best friend and has their six, has their back always. And it's always there. It's not going to leave.
Never.
It's not going to leave them. And I think that just brings like a comfort and just you can't describe the feeling.
Right.
I'll never know. I've never experienced that.
Right.
But security is a good word. Yeah. And I think it's just amazing. And you can't explain it, but it works.
I just know the results that I see, the transformation when they first come into the program to 3, 4, 5 months into the program. And we'll train that dog for whatever that veteran needs to be, whether it's 6 months, 12 months, or 18 months. But again,
the evolution of the veteran through all of that.
We couldn't do what we do without the support and donations from AWI. I mean, it's just amazing how many lives you've changed for us, for our veterans. It really is. You know, tell us a little bit about what do you have future plans?
I mean, other than 50 service dogs next year, 11 more this year.
That's like 1 a
50
week.
service dogs.
I mean, you know she's going to end up saying 52.
I know,
It's going to have to be
go-
one a week,
that
right?
had to be Louise's idea.
It was,
100%.
yes, of
But
course.
I think
And-
aside from that, our goal too is also to become the #1 VA mortgage lender. We don't just want, we want to service veterans in all ways, but what we do well is mortgage lending. And I think VA loans are something so misunderstood. And
There's
we
a
have
ton of stigma,
a ton
negative
of
stigma
negative
still of
stigma,
it.
and it's our job to go around and we take it very seriously to educate these veterans and consumers on how to utilize their VA benefit, debunk the myths. Really, they defend the American dream. The least we can do is let them live it.
So
And
you're veteran friendly.
absolutely, absolutely.
I mean, I think I don't want to quote it for exact, but I'm pretty sure we're like top 3 veteran.
We're definitely in the
VA,
top 5
VA
for
loans
sure.
in the nation. So
like you
it's
said,
a huge
goals,
division of our
but-
companies. I mean, we do obviously standard mortgages, conventional mortgages, jumbo mortgages, FHA, USDA, but we are a very large division.
And we have a lot of veterans that work for us,
Yes,
and a lot of
yeah, which is
spouses,
amazing.
and a lot of, it's just, we're very much into doing what's best for the veteran, really educating them. There's a lot of organizations, I think, that take advantage of veterans, and I've seen it. As a military mortgage specialist, I see it all the time. People come to me and say, well, somebody, my lender told me I can't do that. And I was like, yes, you can. They're just misinformed, or they don't know the VA benefit like we do.
Right.
So working with somebody who specializes in that can make all the difference in the world for these veterans.
What's the hardest part for a veteran to receive a mortgage? If he's on 100% disability, what's the hardest part?
Honestly, 100% disability, that's simple. I think the hardest part sometimes can be the stigma around it of
getting
them
a seller to accept
getting a seller to say, I want
offer.
the VA offer is not going to be more difficult to close, and it's not.
Yeah.
VA is statistically, VA mortgages close at a higher rate than all other type of mortgages.
Why is there such a bad stigma?
I think just in the past, like anything, like VA with medical or disability or anything, it gets a reputation for being slow or just not,
or what we hear,
old-fashioned.
it's a zero down payment.
They don't have any skin in the game.
They don't have any skin in the game.
They don't
And
have
as
any money.
Karen Vaughn, who's a Gold Star mother and lost her son in Afghanistan, speaks with us too. Skin in the game.
Right.
These men and women have served
That is
for
their
our
skin in the
freedom.
game.
They gave plenty of skin in the game.
Yeah, they
And I flip that on its head and I
yeah.
say, well, you're not worried about this veteran losing their down payment because they don't need one.
Right.
It's not like they're getting a gift from family or a grant from the state that can be taken away if funding gets cut or whatever. You're not worried about any of that.
And that's part of what we do to help with the education process, to help realtors understand how to fight for their
change that
clients, for their
stigma.
veteran
Yeah.
clients, to change that stigma
Yeah.
out in the community, that a client, a buyer who comes with an offer that is a VA offer, a VA loan-backed offer for that home,
Right.
is just as worthy and strong as a client coming in with a 20% down
conventional
mortgage
long.
offer
It's
all
just
day
that
long.
stigma.
Right.
It's
It's just a
stigma
past
for
stigma that
whatever
we're
reason.
out there fighting against.
And I think a lot of it is too, just some lenders may not know because VA, it does have a couple of
That's a special.
Nuances.
It's a
Nuances.
That's a
nuance, yes,
specialty.
right?
Yeah,
It's our
yeah.
specialty.
Yeah,
So we know things that we do up front, and we have a smooth process, and we have an underwriting team who gets it, and people on the back end, the operations side of things, that really understand it. Whereas other companies, maybe not their fault per se, but they just don't know what
They don't know.
they don't know what they don't know, and so you could calculate something incorrectly, and now so
And then it throws everything off.
it throws
for
everything off,
qualifying.
and then
Yeah.
it gets a bad name,
Yeah.
right? And they're like, we don't want to use the VA offer. But I will tell you, I had a call. This just happened to me last week. I had a realtor tell me that, oh, my client already used their VA benefit. They can't use it again, and that used to make me really upset. But now I take it as an opportunity to educate them and say, well, let me tell you about this. You can actually use it unlimited number of times, and here's why. And I
right.
take that time to educate them.
Yeah.
Really, you can. See,
Yes.
I thought
Multiple
Yeah.
times.
I thought it was
times.
just one
We're
time.
on our fifth
Yep.
one, my husband and I.
Yeah.
So
Get out.
yeah. And
Again, an example of why you need to be with the right
Well,
people
with the right lender.
and
Right,
veterans
yeah.
too, encouraging
Yeah.
them when they're active duty to buy at every duty station. My brother's active duty Air Force right now, and he was stationed in Idaho. Instead of selling his property, he actually got to turn it into an investment and then turn around and purchase another property at his duty
Really?
station in Florida. So now
Still using his
he's
benefit,
28 years old. He owns 2 houses and has income coming in every month from rentals. And he can go and turn, my sister-in-law, his wife is also a veteran. She can use her VA benefit to purchase their 3rd home at their next duty station. So these veterans aren't,
Yeah.
Our military isn't known for making a lot of money,
Right.
or having a lot of money to put into retirement.
Right.
So this is their retirement plan. It's a way for them to build generational wealth and secure their future, which is something that we've never focused on before for our veterans. They don't make that kind of money, but this is a way to do it. It's a hack. It's
That's
And using the
It's
benefits,
amazing.
like you said, using the benefits multiple
Yes.
times that they don't realize they can.
yeah, it's amazing. It's the most underutilized benefit.
Do you think a lot of people discriminate veterans just in general, or
I don't think intentionally necessarily.
Yeah.
I think there's just a subconscious. Again, I think it has to do with
The zero down.
the
part
zero
of
down
it.
part of it, the maybe, what they heard from the friend of a friend of a friend who tried to use a VA loan and something got messed up.
Are different than a traditional loan, but as long as you know how to do those things,
right.
I don't call that red tape. I just call that operations.
Yeah.
well, obviously you take the time to educate your
Absolutely.
your-
That's the
your
number one.
applicant.
Yes.
To let him know what he can, what he can't
Yes.
do.
Yep, and that's what AWI does
Right.
for our realtors. Like we said before, to remove the stigma, we've educated over 44,000 real estate agents
Around the
since
nation,
inception around the nation. So
How do you get off track? How do you pick and choose where you do your dogs at, where you sponsor your dogs at?
So really, it's up to employees. As employees of Fairway, we choose to do an event.
We raise our hand and say we'd
Raise
like to
our
do
hand
something
and
in
say we
Chicago
wanna do
or
it.
Boston or
Yeah.
Arizona or
That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Yep, they just did one in Colorado at
Mile High Stadium.
Mile High
right?
Stadium. I was going to say I was saying Denver Stadium.
Yeah,
That's not
Mile
what
High.
it's called. But yeah.
All around.
They just gave us that warning.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
So
We're out of time.
I just
Could talk all night.
That's right.
yeah, well,
I told you
Well-
that Megan and me on here. We're going to talk you right off.
Educate you.
listen. But before we go, if there's a veteran out there listening that needs a mortgage, please
Contact
tell us how
Fairway. Yep.
Tell them how they do it.
Yeah.
So Fairway Home Mortgage is the name of our company. You can go to home.com is our website, and they'll put you in touch with somebody in your area through home.com. And then American Warrior Initiative is AmericanWarriorInitiative.com, and all of the information about
Yes.
the program.
So
and
if it's a
everything is
veteran
on
in
there.
need, they can go there and make an application for a
And
need-based
if
thing.
somebody wants to help, volunteer, donate,
Yeah.
Either
thing?
place. Yeah. Get a hold of a Fairway person.
We
We'll
have
help
3
you.
different outposts in Chicagoland area, and we have different branch managers are outpost leaders, and we can connect you. You don't have to be a Fairway employee to be a part of an outpost.
That's right. You can
So
be a community
to help,
member.
you can be a community member and just join our community. So home.com, reach out to one of us, or AmericanWarriorInitiative.com, and we will get you connected to an outpost.
That's right.
again, I can't put into words what you've meant to K9 for Veterans and our veterans. I mean,
our pleasure.
working,
Thank you.
It's our
working
pleasure. Yeah,
with
thank you for the work you're
AWI
doing.
has been a blessing. It really has. You have done so much to help our program and our veterans. I'm beside myself sometimes. When I get a call from you, I'll get a call from this young lady.
Carrie.
I want to.
You got to sit down sometimes, right?
I want to do.
Are you sitting down?
I want to do a couple dogs.
A couple more dogs.
Yeah.
Can we add on more dogs?
Then she'll call me back a day later and say, "Well, can we put 2 more on?" I go, "Yeah."
But a lot of
Our
it thanks
pleasure.
to the community too.
It
The
is.
fundraisers we do, the
Yeah.
sponsors we get. I mean,
Okay.
it just
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
do it. It takes
It's a village. That's right.
Well, thank you so much for being my guest tonight.
Thank you.
Yes,
And
thanks for having us on.
Thank you.